I recently recorded my 200th overall episode between my two podcast platforms. So I'm here to present the top 5 keys to podcasting through 200 episodes. My name is Vincent A. Lanci, and I'm the host of 2 podcast series, That Entrepreneur Show and A Mental Health Break. Here's the cover art for both platforms, along how to take a listen to each show. Throughout the 200 episodes, I found 5 areas to really help me. So I wanted to share the top 5 keys with you and why they're effective. We're going to start today's presentation with systems. Everything I do, I have a system, including each daily schedule. So why would podcasting be every different? As you can see, there are 8 steps to podcasting. Some of these are actually some keys in this presentation. But before we move forward, I want to share how I personally utilize 2 of these steps. When it comes to recording, I choose Zoom because it creates the organic feel as if my guest and I are in the room together. I find this to be very effective for the conversation, the flow of it, opposed to waiting on the other end of a cell phone, long pauses. Give this a try. My second use here is hosting. You have several options to put your MP3 file after it's edited onto the world. Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout does that for me. It's very user-friendly. They offer statistics in many areas, also the locations of where your listeners are from, and the opportunity to list this podcast on several platforms. Next key is networking. It can make or break you. My first podcast presentation was actually on these 4 strategies on how to leverage your podcast, and I'm going to show quickly how effective these strategies work. Between the 2 platforms, I've interviewed people in 12 countries, and here are some of the first international entrepreneurs I've networked to get on my show. Alan Dibb in Australia, Sella, who's a music creator out in Cape Town, South Africa. We go to Switzerland with Ada Paula, and Sasha and Sabina Lott have 3 businesses in Haiti. All of these entrepreneurs are absolutely crushing it. My third key, don't put so much pressure on yourself. You can't be a perfectionist in the podcast game. Here's a screenshot from one of my first episodes. Every time there was a long break, I would try to get rid of that break, and eventually it was a lot to handle. I also realized that people listen to podcasts because they are authentic. They're not like Instagram with, 1,000 pictures for one. They are uncut. So that is indeed how my shows are now. A second area to not be a perfectionist in is in conversation. My early episodes, I was so strict on my talking points where I really wouldn't listen to my guest. The 4th takeaway, you want to listen first after you engage and respond second. You can make great conversation based off what that guest says. Don't fall into a trap that I did in the beginning of my career where talking point. Engage a little bit. And if you find yourself going too fast, take a deep breath, slow down. Being from New York, sometimes I don't realize, but I do my best to stay conscious of it. And to wrap this PowerPoint up, I have follow-up. It might be the most crucial key in this presentation. Once your episode's uploaded, it's live. Send the episode link to the guest. See if they'll help you share it. It will help grow the show, get new listeners in new places. Also, share the social media you create. It won't hurt to get additional brand awareness if they repost that, right? And of course, offer to help put some friends on, any colleagues that they know. I always like to keep my shows close-knit because it's a family. So try offering that, see if it grows your show. I want to recap quickly. Try these 5 keys. They will grow your show. Systems, networking, don't be a perfectionist, listening, and follow up with your guest. As of this presentation, my 2 shows have 9,728 views. Give them a listen and then shoot me an email. Let me know what you think. I provided some extra resources for you. Zoom, how I video my shows, Buzzsprout, how I host, and as well as Apple because I use GarageBand as it was a free service. And as an entrepreneur, money is always tight. Thank you for tuning in.